Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Premier League semi-finals at the State Hockey Centre at Jepps Cross. Hi to everyone watching around the state, country and overseas. I'm Tim White, and along with me tonight is my co-host Melody Cooper, and we'll be calling the semi-final between the Adelaide Peas and the Seacliff Tigers. So, welcome Mel.
Thank you. So last time these two teams played against one another was last weekend at the Adelaide pitch, and the Adelaide men defeated Seacliff 3-2. Obviously it's a repeat of the grand final from last year, where Seacliff actually won last season's Premier League championship, so they beat them 5-1. So I think the two teams will be fired up to have a good campaign. So it doesn't matter about the rest of the year really. Starts again now.
Yeah, well I think both teams played out the season, and it was probably apparent about halfway through that they were destined to meet in this 1v2 final. It was probably a matter of who finished ahead at the end of the year, which Adelaide did. They finished minor premiers with their win last weekend. They topped the 100 goal mark. They've won the last two times, I believe. I think they beat Seacliff on their home pitch in the middle of the year. After Seacliff, I'm pretty sure, had the honours in the first game. So it's an eagerly awaited game. It's a beautiful evening. So expecting a really good game tonight.
And umpires, we've got Finney and is it Ben Knight?
No.
Oh.
Ben?
Benny, yeah.
I believe. So what are you expecting from tonight's game in terms of the way you think it'll be played out, Mel?
I think it'll be fairly quick. Obviously, Adelaide have got a lot of pace with the likes of Fraser Bowden. And Fred Gray's got a bit of ticker in the middle there. So, and on the Seacliff side, you've got Al Oliver that's got a lot of pace as well. So I think tonight's game will be played quite quickly, be quite open. You've got players like Coxie, Daniel Cox, who will bring in that physicality in the back line with the Adelaide team. Same with Hugh Purvis. So both sides are fairly well balanced with some old heads, and then you've got some younger talent coming through, which is great to see.
Yeah, it is. I think an evenly poised match. It may well come down, as a lot of games do, to midfield ascendancy, as you've talked about already. Two of the best young players in the state, and Fred Gray for Adelaide and Lockie Buzzico for Seacliff, both key players in the midfield. Obviously Fraser Bowden's pace, Dan Mitchell on the ball now. He'll probably find himself being played through the midfield a bit tonight, and he'll be significant, or even back four now that you've turned him into that defender type, Mel, ready for his hot shots campaign in a few weeks' time. So yeah, I think it'll be great to see the way the midfield battle plays out. Seacliff probably play with, like to kind of control it in terms of their outletting a little bit more than Adelaide. Adelaide really dangerous going forward with some fast strikers. So yeah, should be a great game to watch.
Glenn Tamlin on the ball, a lot of experience from Glenn back there, just having a bit of composure for the guys.
And you can already see in that first outlet from Seacliff that Adelaide were pressing him pretty tight into that back corner, but Seacliff, being the team that they were able to play out of it. But yeah, Glenn Tamlin will be significant for Seacliff. He's a match winner. Oh, great opportunity here.
Fraser.
It was an excellent tackle by Connor Richmond's spouse, who's a really talented young player who wasn't in the Seacliff team at the start of the year, but he's found his way into their Premier League team as you'd expect. He was a really good under-18 player, I reckon 12 months ago. He made an important tackle there because Fraser Bowden was ready to pull the trigger if he had got through that one, I
think. No ball kids.
No ball kids, so there'll be a bit of downtime.
In goals, Seacliff have got Mikey, and Mikey Wells, he's actually a very good keeper. Field player is exceptional, really good organisation as well, so he's a key component for the Seacliff team.
Yeah, definitely. And Damon Lang down the other end for Adelaide, who's promising young keeper in the Hockey SA pathway. Played under 18 state this year, moved over from the Burnside Hockey Club to Adelaide this year, and he's enjoyed his time in the net there. So, I mean, one of the features of both the teams is they play with quite a lot of creativity and fluidity, and you'll see different players in different positions. At the moment, you see is that Huey Purvis up there pressing as a left striker,
yes.
Which is an unusual position for Huey, but it's not surprising to see him in an attacking area.
Lucky Buzz.
It was Jake Stacey getting into a dangerous area, so he's made his comeback to Premier League this year after having a little bit of time out of hockey. Very good player, really dangerous goal scorer who I think has got better and better as the year has gone on. So you expect him to feature in goal mouth activity as the night wears on.
Yeah, he's really found his touch, I think, in the last 4 weeks. I was messaging him during the week, and I think he's certainly looking forward to getting back into a grand final position because last time he played, I know.
Do you remember it, Kiwi?
Yeah, I remember that too well. Yeah, last time they played in the grand final, we lost in stroke, so I think he's looking for a bit of redemption.
And that was these two teams, wasn't it?
It was these two.
And which year was that, Kiwi?
2014.
2014. Was it after a 0-0 draw?
Now you're testing my memory. It was a draw, extra time, and then we didn't do so well in the strokes. But we certainly played well during the normal time. I think we probably were the better team between us and Seacliff at the time when I was coaching.
But if tonight's game is level at the end of normal time, it goes to extra time. I believe it's 2 7.5-minute periods of golden goal, extra time, and then if it's still level, it will go to a shootout, which is, I think, a new rule. I think in the past it's been the team that's finished top would go through. But Hockey SA have introduced the shootout rule for Premier League teams only, I think. That's just obviously something to watch later on if it gets that far. Which
I think is a good rule that they've introduced, as opposed to and the draw is no actual direct outcome. It's good to have a shootout at the end. Yep.
So Fred Gray getting underneath the aerial there, he'll be
good take.
He'll be an important player. Great receive and go from Angus Fry then.
It's a good ball.
Very good. That's Jordan Kiddo on the ball, isn't it?
Yep.
The last remaining kiddo. Normally there's kiddos everywhere in a Seacliff final, but two other kiddos. We've got Todd in Vanuatu as the development officer for Vanuatu Hockey, so he'll be following this game with interest, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
And you've got brother Brad, who is somewhere on an overseas venture, Europe, I think,
sure where
potentially,
he is at the
but I wouldn't put money on it. But yes. Just the one remaining kiddo there tonight, and Jordan. He's a key midfielder for him now, a powerful player in that position. Daniel Cox has been unwell. He's taken a while to shake off a virus, hasn't he, or an infection? So
this is his first week that he's had full training.
Okay.
He did well to probably get rid of the cobwebs on Wednesday night when we had a Hot Shots internal game.
Yep.
So he didn't play last weekend when Adelaide and Seacliff played against one another. Handy little skills there from Fred Gray. The thing about Cooper, he doesn't give up. So
Cooper Powdy?
Yeah,
really good young player. So how many of the players here are in your Hot Shots team that are going away in what, almost 3 weeks' time now? So who's in there from Seacliff?
From Seacliff, we've got Lockie Buzzico, who's coming away for his first AHL trip.
Yep.
Daniel Mitchells as well, who had his first AHL last year.
Yep.
Very key player for us in terms of organisation. Then we've got Cooper. He's playing through the DMF line, but a very good striker as well. So he's a young player in the team. He played for us when we went to Darwin and had a really good AHL.
I remember him scoring a couple of goals as a young fella up in Darwin a few years ago. So.
Yeah, really good.
So he'll play through the DMF line, is that what you said?
DMF and striker.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, he'll go between those two lines.
Yep.
And for Seacliff, that's it. There's a couple that are unavailable like Al Oliver, who's played the last 7 years AHL, and Glenn, who's unavailable this year, and Mikey's played AHL as well as Matt Morton.
And from Adelaide, you have got Coxie and Dan Cox. Tim Lee this year?
Tim Lee's first AHL.
Yep.
And then we also have Fraser Bowden
of course,
as well, who adds a lot of pace for us. But I'm excited to see what Tim Lee will do. He's had a really good club year, scored a lot of goals. So it'll be a good test for him over at the AHL in Perth. We've still got 2 positions to formalise with the AHL side. So we've named 16 and we'll finalise the team probably Monday next week.
Yep.
So Jimmy Humphries was actually in the AHL squad.
Yep, who was just on the ball then.
Yes.
Yeah, so the game is just sort of taking a while to take shape. Neither team has had a shot on goal as yet.
No.
There's been a few circle penetrations at either end, but
The trap.
And there you go. Right on cue.
Yes.
So that was put away by Matthew Morton,
Yeah, it was.
who I believe he may have scored both the goals last weekend in Seacliff's 3-2 loss.
I saw one.
So yeah, he's spent some time in the midfield for Seacliff. He spent some time up front, but he's certainly in good goal scoring form, and like any good striker should do, he was there on the back post or on the spot and was able just to put away that opportunity when it fell to him.
Yeah.
So the early ascendancy to Seacliff.
Yeah, Matt Morton's been coaching the Premier League women for Seacliff this year, and his knowledge is really good. So I think that certainly helps him with his playing as well. Just being able to do a bit more coaching and get a better understanding of the game.
Yeah, no, he's done a good job with the Seacliff women who come up against these 2 teams tomorrow, isn't it? So, but it's in the elimination final tomorrow.
That's correct. It's close.
So we didn't see you out there on the pitch today for the M1 Adelaide women, did we, Kiwi? Did you?
No, that's the sore spot. I got dropped.
Okay, well let's not go there. I'll discuss it with you in private at half time. Huey, an audacious dive there. He looks like he's getting up a little bit gingerly, but I think he's more forlorn than anything. So, but no, he's certainly finding himself in advanced positions. And I just heard Coxie say, "Huey, you wanted him back further a bit." But I'm not sure if you've seen too much of that because you've got a big pole on your way at the moment. So that's why I sat on your left. This is James Hazer on the ball. So he's a 16-year-old who has just taken his chance in the Adelaide team this year early on, and he's become a permanent fixture in their Premier League. He's had a really good season. He went away with the under-18 state team. Obviously his father Russ is a stalwart at the Adelaide Hockey Club for many years, so he's really enjoying his time in the Premier League at Adelaide.
He's done really well.
We've obviously got 2 experienced coaches as well. I mean, Mark Deloro has had, he's got a coaching CV that that most people would be pretty impressed with, and He's obviously the current Premier League title holder in terms of coaching. I think he's won the Premier League Coach of the Year for the last 3 years. They're almost ready to rename that the Mark Deloro Medal. And up against him tonight, coaching the Adelaide team, is Steve Button, who's coaching his first year at Premier League. Done a great job with the Adelaide group after coaching the M1 women last year. So, and he loves his hockey. Got a great knowledge. So, two really good coaches leading these two teams. So Seacliff making the pitch big here with three stretched up right up to the circle. But Adelaide read what they were doing there and pressed that well. So, but both teams are working really hard, to keep this speed up. Will be interesting to see if they can, because it's been a fast opening to the game. Bit of support from the crowd. There is a good crowd out here. I mean, it is. You'd have to call it a balmy night. I think we've both commentated during the year, haven't we? And we've bought out multiple jackets, and they've never been enough.
Oh my goodness! It's been very cold.
So yeah, we're enjoying this weather tonight. All reports, it's not going to be the same for the elimination finals tomorrow.
No.
Father's Day.
Coxie asking questions of the defence by just crashing a ball in.
It was well handled by Lockie Buzz back there. Nice receive. He probably would have been a bit disappointed that he didn't find a pass as an outlet, but did his job as the free defender. How has Dan Mitchell settled into his defensive role? Mel?
Yeah, really well. Like, his voice and organisation is an integral part. That was part of the reason why we shifted him back there.
Yep.
His knowledge is very, very good as well.
Yep.
It's just that balance of organising while still trying to, look after your own player and your role so that it doesn't detract from your game. So I think he's, good enough time to actually work through that.
Good. I think he's enjoying the challenge.
Yeah, look, he's got a lot of skill variations which a defender needs, whether it's aerial, Toma, decent four-stick hit and sweep hit. So that's part of the reason why we did shift him back there as well. He's got good composure.
Yep. So we'll be looking for Al Oliver to start to influence the game a bit more. He, from memory, was the outstanding player of last year's grand final and scored at least one, I think more than one, and pretty sure was maybe awarded the player of the grand final. So he's a really important player. You see the moves possession there. So Fred Gray stepped up there really well and dispossessed him. So Fred started well. Al will be looking to build into the game.
Yeah, Al's the type of player you don't really want to let him into the circle with pace on his Toma, because he's got such a quick release with his Toma.
Yeah, he has.
And he is a bit of an unorthodox player sometimes with his skill, because he's quite a loose dribbler.
Yeah. Strong running there from Geordie Kiddo.
Family trait, isn't it?
Oh, isn't it? And we're looking to win a corner here.
On 90 ball, that's
who have we got here?
Through.
Oh, well done by Seacliff. They worked that in nicely.
They did.
Where are we?
There's Jake Stacey on the ball. Good ball. Oh, Mikey read that well. Well done, Mikey. That was good keeping by
Mikey was very much in the role of sweeper-keeper. And so he read the first one, probably would have been disappointed that the clearance went where it did, but then was very athletic in the way in which he got his left glove, was it, to the next one?
Oh, red. Good tackle. That's well worked by Adelaide. Small games to get it out. Well,
Is that who is
Tynan?
that was Tynan Cassidy, isn't
Yes.
it? The tall
Yeah,
defender,
it.
number 17.
That's correct.
Yeah, and number 42 on the pressing there. Just trying to pick up who that is.
Can't see his face.
I don't think we have him down.
Oh, is that Beardy?
That's Beardy, is it?
Yeah, Matt Beard.
Yeah, who he's a very good goal scorer actually.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, fantastic ball from Huey Purvis, I think, and it was James Humphrey arriving, wasn't it? Like, beautiful move. Got a lovely piece of it, but just almost got too much of it and went past the far post.
So Adelaide's had a couple of good goes at it in the last, two or so minutes.
Yeah, they've responded well to going a goal down.
Good take by Cooper.
That play by Cooper was excellent. You saw that it looked like he was going to throw the kind of more obvious pass down into that bottom T-spot position, but it wouldn't have been the most dangerous pass, and he just opened his hands up and passed it inside, and that allowed the circle entry in a really dangerous part of the circle, and Seacliff got a corner which they're really dangerous on. You've got
no buzz on at the moment though.
Yeah, which is he's their main flicker. So Matt Morton do a low drag flick. Dan Mitchell is pretty dangerous on the hip and slaps and so on. So yeah. So it might even be a midi hit. What do you think?
I reckon it might go first bracket. That's my guess.
Well read by Kiwi, firstly. And
second trapper didn't look like he really wanted it, so I thought it might go the first bracket.
No, well, that's a note to myself. I should have looked at the trapper rather than midi. But yeah, well run down by Adelaide. Probably the shot of, the choice of the shot from that position wasn't the best one. Maybe to either win a corner or get it across the dangerous part of the circle around the spot would have been a better option.
Huey's sneaking up there again.
Yep, well he's actually in our blind spot as well, so.
What's that? Seacliff sneaking an extra one quite high.
Looks like Adelaide there almost seemed to lose their free defender and just press with an extra number. So they had everyone dealt with at the back, but they were just pushed another one up, which meant they were really aggressive up the front.
Could be in trouble here if Seacliff get out of that.
Oh.
That's quite good from Fred, he just delayed.
Yeah, very good. Very good. He almost kind of dived in a bit too early and managed then just to basically shadow him and protect his feet. And you can see really probably two of our best younger players in the state up against each other there, in Cooper and Fred. So you'd be hoping to see them in Hot Shots colours together in
years to come.
Years to come.
Definitely agree with that. I thought he was owed a call there. Another corner awarded.
Dan Cox is a bit bemused. He wanted the early free. I think it was Jason Rademski who managed to win the ball off him. And then Matt Morton was skillful enough to earn a corner. So another chance for Seacliff, and I think again Lockie Buzzico is not on the pitch. Al Oliver's also a dangerous person on corners with touches and rebounds and stuff, and he's standing on the sidelines watching as well. So, we'll see what they come up with this time. First one they went for a Morton low flick from the first bracket.
Ooh, mistrap there. Call that.
That is a magnificent save by David Lang.
Very good save.
I think, it was Cooper, and knowing Cooper as I do, I think he was ready to, celebrate with his, with his one hand aloft and get back to the centre line. He couldn't quite believe that Damon had actually got that. Great slip there.
That is good build up there.
But yeah, Damon Lang had to basically react. It looked like he almost threw his right arm. May even got like a bicep to it or something. However, I'm not sure if my eyes are good enough for that. We'll wait for the replay.
I'll just
Kiwi.
Yeah. Seacliff back 4.
Yep, they love this. They love getting up the line, but you can see the way Adelaide are handling it. They basically just, got Fred over there to. They almost pushed another one out, and then got Fred over there to cover the one who extended up the line. So, they're dealing with it well, but at the moment, the main stat that we need to look at is that Seacliff have got the early goal.
Jack Stacey. Good pick up from.
That was well read by Dan Mitchell there, just closing that dangerous ball down as he comes off for a rest, and now Oliver sneaks back on. Okay, press win from Adelaide, getting a turnover on the attacking 25. Coach killer.
The old sideboard.
You get into that position and you want the ball flashing across the goal at the back post. So, but really well read by Fraser Bowden. He realised that the Seacliff defence wasn't set up, and if he just basically took off on his strong side and on their weak side, he was going to be able to enter the circle. So Adelaide will want to be wary of that.
Good intercept. Yeah, we talk about that a lot with the hot shots and the attacking 25. If they're not organised, do the quick auto.
Yeah,
and try and engage them to actually get a PC, because if they play at that within the 5 metres, that's an easy attacking penalty corner. Yeah,
I think it's a really important part of the game to get right from both sides, from the attacking and the defensive, because as you say, it's an easy to get it wrong defensively and then to give away a dangerous corner.
Glenn Tamlin crash ball.
There it is. Yep. I mean, it was probably well umpired. It was, it was a bit of an ugly mishit by Glenn, but it was not dangerous to anyone. No. So play on.
And as a player, I actually don't mind that every now and then, because it creates a bit of intimidation with the front line who are pressing.
Yep.
As long as it's not dangerous, of course.
This is Ben McPhail on, isn't it?
It is.
So he's just come off an M1 game, so he's obviously playing on the 20-minute rule. So in the M1 match just played, we had the Port men qualify straight through to the grand final with a 4-2 win over the Adelaide men. So they hauled in a 2-0 lead by Adelaide, actually, to run away pretty convincing winners in the end. So
yeah, I heard there were, probably only about 8 circle penetrations from the Port team, and they scored 4 goals.
They were pretty clinical and deserved their win. That was the 3rd win of the day for the Port team, I think. They beat the Port Adelaide club. They won the women's qualifying final 2-1 over Uni, so they've gone straight through again for their upteenth successive grand final, and the M1 women from Port also beat Adelaide, I believe, 2-1 today, which I'm sure you would know about anyway, Kiwi.
Yeah, I didn't watch the game, but I heard the score was 2-1. It's a good outlet from Seacliff there. That is some decent ball movement.
Been impressed with Cooper Powdy so far.
Yeah,
he's actually looking He's looking dangerous. He's actually, skills are looking sharp. His touch is good, but he's also really well connected. So you saw there that he had awareness that Rademski was leading into the pocket, and before he received it, he knew what he wanted to do with it. So, and then a dangerous ball in, which they dealt with in the end. There's Cooper again.
Just a bit too far there.
Yeah, I mean, he really well read by Buzz. That's what we want from him.
Their spacing, Seacliff, when they're actually flying with the ball, is quite good. Like, they've got good width, height.
Yeah, they have. They're looking a little bit more connected than Adelaide at the moment. And their ability just to, receive, know their next pass, move it on, keep it away from contests, is hurting Adelaide at the moment. But as yet, they're not capitalising on that early goal that Matt Morton scored after, 5 or 10 minutes. Nick Lomar on the ball. Adelaide stalwart, played for many years. He would have played in your time.
That's right. He's pretty handy in terms of his length that he's got, and he's got good range on his aerial when he uses that.
Yep. And he's just very experienced. He got beaten there, but he's generally able to mop up a lot of defensive errors. Did they blow a corner for that?
They did. He must have been inside the circle.
So this is what, corner number
3?
3 for Seacliff?
Yeah.
And Adelaide yet to have one?
Adelaide haven't had a PC yet.
And that's an area of the game that Adelaide would be looking to change, because they've got some dangerous PC flickers, particularly in Dan Cox and Sean Dawson. So, and this is the first corner that Seacliff have had that Lockie Buzzico's been on for.
Okay, yeah.
So you'd be surprised if it doesn't go to the first bracket and Buzz has a fluke.
Yeah, Al's a very good trapper, so yeah.
Oh, that's a great save again. So Damon Ling got his right foot to that. So he would have been offset. He would have been offset to his right hand side, and the runners would have blocked out the post side. And so that was kind of almost picture perfect goalkeeping technique, being able to step across and save that. Sometimes if goalies dive for that one, it takes them too long to get down. And it goes underneath them. But he'll be pleased with that save, an important one too.
I mean, he's got good height.
He does.
So in terms of his legs getting out there, it's quite handy.
That's two really important saves that he's made. That one off of Cooper, the kind of fly hit, first time hit, and that corner. So he's well and truly been an important player for Adelaide early, whereas Mikey's just had that sweeper up on top of the circle, double involvement, which is only 2 involvements, I think, at this stage.
Yeah, that's right. That other deflection that James Humphrey said
that went wide, and then obviously Fraser Bowden had that shot that also didn't trouble him because it missed on the near side. So yeah, Adelaide will be looking to make a bit more of their circle entries, and they just had another one there, but that was really well dealt with by, who was it, Dan Mitchell down there?
Yep. Now Glenn's coming out with it.
They look right now, Seacliff, as though they're really enjoying this contest, and that they're they're enjoying this part of the season. That this is what they played all year for, as Adelaide have, of course, as well. But you can sense that Seacliff have got the early ascendancy, and you can just see that in body language and also the way in which the game's being played at the moment.
I agree, the tonality, and you can hear them constantly. Like you can hear Dan Mitchell's and the organisation from Mikey at the back as well, and Buzz. That's really important because it helps keep the vibe up amongst the group. Yeah.
Adelaide almost looked like they were doing some sort of huddle in the middle of the field then, but it actually broke down on the first pass, so we didn't see what was going to unfold from that.
That's one aerial.
I looked away. Did that come from Dan Mitchell?
Dan Mitchell's alley-oop right across the pitch.
Did he hook it or something?
Well, he got under it.
Right. He'll have a bit to say about it, though. He'll...
I think he's smiling.
Yeah. So Adelaide setting up the back three with their two DMs there. But Seacliff reading that pretty easily.
Yeah.
Dan Mitchell very comfortable on the ball. Lucky Buzz playing well, looking like he's almost playing within himself a little bit, the way that's kind of his style. He looks pretty composed on the ball. Lachlan.
There's Fraser. He's got very good pace.
Again, good play by Seacliff. And yeah, fair enough by Buzz. Looked like I would have thought that the striker was going to get into that part of the field.
Green card.
So Matthew Morton being asked to sit down for 2 minutes, of which 27 seconds will be this half, and
The rest in the start of the second half.
We'll round it up to a minute and a half.
So you'll see Seacliff fall back because they're a man down.
Yep.
Do a
I don't
half
want
court
to.
press.
I don't want to
They'll
drop back
fall
too far though.
Too far.
And
Yes.
now all of a sudden,
Now look.
Adelaide are in a dangerous area with 20 seconds to go. So,
That'll be a thing.
so Adelaide will be looking to try and get this into the circle with 10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, he almost stepped out. Seacliff were lucky there. Yeah.
Crowd starting to get a bit boisterous
Yeah.
here at Hockey SA.
Yeah, to be careful when defending the circle there that he doesn't get too close within the 5 when Fraser took that free hit.
But yeah, an entertaining first half of hockey. I think as we've talked about during that half, Seacliff have earned their 1-0 lead. And Damon Lang in the Adelaide net has actually made a couple of important saves to actually keep Adelaide well and truly in this contest.
Yeah. All good. Okay, we're about to start the second half. The current score is Seacliff up 1 goal to 0. I think Adelaide will obviously come out firing because they will have the numbers advantage. Seacliff are down a player, so they'll be starting with 10 players for the next minute and a half roughly. So I think Matt Morden's got a green card. So now is a really good time for Adelaide to try and even the scoreline up and get back into the game.
Yep, I'd be really surprised if we don't. Well, sometimes half-time brings about a bit of a momentum change, and Adelaide need that because I think Seacliff had more momentum in the first half and deserved their 1-0 lead, and perhaps even could have been more than that. So you would expect Adelaide to come out with a different vibe about them, whether they play a different structure or not, or it might just be trying to take the game on a little bit more. So I'd expect a really exciting second half. One thing that Adelaide will certainly be looking to do, which we spoke about before half-time, is earn a couple of penalty corners this half. Because it has been a dangerous weapon for them this year. So at the moment they haven't, in fact they haven't actually, as we talked about, haven't had one, but also haven't had a shot that's actually needed to be saved by Mikey Wells in the Seacliff net. So yeah, they'll be looking for some outcomes in the circle this half.
Yeah, I think Seacliff's done a pretty good job with defending their circle so far and trying to shut it down outside the circle.
Yeah, I mean, I think if Adelaide get enough opportunities with balls into their circle, they've got dangerous players who can get some touches and what have you, with Angus Fry and Tim Lee and Jake Stacey and co.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, they won't need too many chances, but as you said, Kiwi, they dealt with it well, Seacliff, in the first half, and they're now back to 11 with Matt Morton serving out his extra minute and a half after half time. I didn't actually see what he did you?
No, I didn't.
It was something off the ball, and he clearly knew that it was for him because he ran off before the green card was even waved at him. So Fraser Bowden showed his pace there because Lockie Buzzico had a head of steam up himself, and Lockie is quite quick, but Fraser was able to deal with it pretty well.
Yeah, he's one player that the old, bouncing behind elimination's not really going to work because of his pace.
No.
Good tussle between these two down here.
Yeah, it was a great tackle by Colin Richmond's spouse there. Like Tim Lee looked like he had momentum in that contest, but Connor basically was able to turn his body and take possession. So it started with some really good contests. You saw Fred Gray picking off Al Oliver down the other end about a minute ago as well. So
collision there.
Another contest, and Mitty comes away with the ball. So
yeah, you wouldn't want to get sandwiched.
No, you wouldn't, Kiwi. I think you can really see, and you will see it more and more, Adelaide pressing Seacliff heavily in this half.
Good ball.
And when they did it in the first half, that was probably when they looked most dangerous, maybe even more so than when they had the ball themselves. They looked dangerous in their press mode, but they needed to then basically turn that into better opportunities once they actually won the ball in the press. So, it'll be interesting to watch that play out this half.
Oh, good ball.
Great finish by Angus Fry. So we just talked about him as one of the players that doesn't need many opportunities. He is one of the best young goal scorers in the state, and that's what he does best.
Oh, he does. He just hovers around the goal mouth, and his one-touch finishing is very, very good.
So that really sets the tone for this contest being a great second half of hockey. A lot on the line, a week off, a spot straight into the grand final.
Could be another here. Well played.
So right now, Adelaide have taken this momentum. That could be a green card.
I think so.
Might even be a yellow, actually.
Yep.
And it is a yellow. So that was to Sam Hilditch, I believe.
It
so
was.
he basically put his stick across. Was it Al Oliver who was breaking free with the ball and pretty well checked his run? So
yeah, there was probably two things there. He was actually shadowing Al as he was carrying that ball off the top of the circle within the 5 metres, and then almost a professional foul by putting the stick across his legs.
So maybe the umpire really turned 2 greens into 1 yellow there.
It's not what Adelaide want after they've just been able to get that goal in, 1-1, and then you go down a player for a minimum 5 minutes.
So 1-1 and with momentum.
That's right.
As the
vocal supporters
as the evening rolls on, the crowd gets a bit more vocal, which is great.
So Adelaide are now in a half-court press because they're down a player.
Yep, so they basically... Yep.
Seacliff can start walking it up. And they'll look to exploit that.
But in the end, Adelaide won it in the press anyway.
No.
That's a great ball. Fred Gray getting in behind here. Again, some dangerous counter-attack style hockey with Tim Lee involved as well, and Fred Gray pushing up effectively as the extra striker through the DM line.
They've got a lot of pace between the two of them.
So this is really, to be honest, being played out how we thought it might. Before the game started, we expected a really tight contest. I would have been surprised if one team had momentum for the whole game, and it was just a matter of teams taking advantage of their momentum when they had it. Now, Seacliff did, although they probably would have been disappointed to only have been 1 goal up at half time, and now it's Adelaide's turn, although they are a man down at the moment. They've got the 1 goal, and now it's just going to be a wrestle for the next 25 minutes or so. Now that's Max Menadue, I believe, who's a really talented young player.
And a good PC there.
He did. So, he was able basically just to get into the circle, and Nick Lomar went to his knees, and the corner was given. So, opportunity for Seacliff.
So this will be the 4th Burnley corner?
I believe so. With Adelaide, well, still to have any, I believe. Yeah, so the last one, when Lockie Buzzico was on, number 2 for Seacliff, who's on the first bracket, he flicked low down the stick side for the keeper. It was well covered by Damon's right foot, so we'll see what they come up with.
Oh, it's going to the first bracket. Came off Daniel Cox's stick. A flick from Lockie Buzzico, so that takes Seacliff 2-1 up.
Yep, so it looked as though it was probably going to be dealt with. It would look like a pretty kind of savable height, around about kind of hip height. Coxie, who I guess he was in the second runner position there, basically got a stick to it and deflected it past his own keeper. So Seacliff take the advantage again.
Yeah, we'll have to check the video on that, but I think his left foot was forward, which then enables the deflection to go down your right hand side. Not what you want when you're on the glove side of the keeper.
Yeah.
Another corner.
They've won another corner here. So that's Cassidy, is it? Won the
Tony
corner.
Cassidy.
He's been a part of the Seacliff team for a good few years now. Smart ball by Dan Mitchell. So using him in an aerial, and he was able to attack the circle and win the corner. So all of a sudden Seacliff have grabbed momentum. I think Adelaide is still a man down. So
They are.
Seacliff have taken their opportunity to wrestle back control, which they've done. So the last 2 have gone to Buzzico, see if they go 3 in a row or whether Mitchell might get a hit.
Another flick. Posty. Saved by Damon.
So was that saved, or was it?
The first one looked from my angle with the pole in the way.
What did you think?
I think it hit the post.
Well, I thought it came out like it had hit the post.
Yeah.
But without the benefit of a replay here, we probably will look like gooses for people who are at home watching it, because they may have got a better view than us. But they've got another corner now anyway to make up for it. I was keeping tally. I reckon it's
6.
Probably 6. And that's too many. So Adelaide would be certainly looking to avoid any more. At this stage, it's probably showing the ascendancy in the game overall, even though Adelaide started this half well. Beautifully executed. So what did you see, Kiwi? Talk us through it.
So that's a nice kind of faint pass from Buzzico from the first bracket, where he delivered it to Matt Morden, who injected the ball and finished that off really easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 3-1 now to Seacliff.
Yeah, it was really well finished. Great disguise by Buzzco. He kind of went into his flicking motion and then just softened his hands and pulled it across his body a bit. And Morton did really well, because sometimes in that situation, you know, if there's any lift on the ball, then it won't be allowed. And here they go again.
It's good defensive running from Fraser Bowden there with his reverse pressure.
Adelaide just need to, yeah.
It's a good outlet.
Adelaide just need to just stay composed here. At the moment, it's a bit of a frantic game. There's not a lot of control.
Adelaide's back to 11 players. Sam Hilditch is back on the field.
Oh, Buzzco in a dangerous spot. He's got a great backhand on him.
He does. It's good defence.
But really well
from
defended.
Daniel Cox.
That's a dangerous spot for a midfielder to get to. That the defensive midfielder is able to push up through the middle there. It's hard to control by an opposition team. And Menagew, I think it was, the young striker on the left, who found him in a really dangerous position. But as we've said, Dan Cox handled that well.
Fraser's acceleration, it's next level.
Yeah, they're playing a fast brand of hockey now, Adelaide, aren't they? They're basically taking a lot of self-play passes. It's pretty quick hockey. It's almost as though it's a kind of a psychological response to going a couple of goals down, but they probably just need to understand that they've got a lot of time left.
Yeah, they do.
And they can work their way back into it. They only need 2 goals, because that will then get them into an extra time period anyway.
Tackle there by Nick Lomar. Couldn't see much.
No, we both went silent because there was not one pole, but there was 2 poles and a cameraman in our way. But anyway, we worked through it.
So that aerial was just going into a very congested area. He used to call that fairly quickly just to make sure that no one gets hurt.
Correct. Yeah, umpires are pretty keen to blow that pretty quickly. So full credit to Seacliff. I mean, Adelaide came out as we expected to, with real intent. Great finish by Angus Fry, got them right back in the contest. And then Seacliff just flexed their muscles and opened up a 2-goal lead. But there's plenty of time left, so you would expect some more action at both ends of the ground.
Yeah, absolutely. A little tussle here.
Just a bit of a relieving ball from Geordie just to get it down the other end and let Seacliff take a breath and get their structure back. Oh. Sometimes we hold our breath a bit, don't we? Oh, it's dangerous as well. It was just a good contest, that one, wasn't it? So Maxi Menagew showing his skills. Coxie was like, hang on, I normally do that. I'm not happy with that, young fella. So Coxie got involved.
It's a good one touch there. Now those two have played against one another, Jake Stacey and Glenn Tamlin, for many years. So it's a good little battle between those two.
It's actually, for people who haven't seen a lot of hockey and who would consider hockey to be a non-contact sport, the last couple of minutes has suggested otherwise, with a few really good battles between, firstly, Buzzco and Cox, and then down in the bottom corner with, who was that? Tamlin and Stacey.
Good tackle there. Yeah, James Humphreys has got a very low tackle.
He has, yeah, and he's got a good eye as well.
He does.
I mean, it was a dangerous tackle because if he missed it, he was planted and the ball was in behind him. But it was kind of ball or body type mentality, I think.
That's what we say, don't let the ball when the player get past.
Buzzico did well then, stepping in and basically mopping that up, knocking it onto Jake Stacey's foot.
Sam Hilditch, good intercept and a good ball.
It was a rare error from Glyn Tamlin on the outlet. Beautiful ball by who was it, Hilditch to find Stacey, but then a miss hit by Jake into the circle. Coxie
Bit of a
disappointed.
brain fade there, I think. Yeah, so on a long corner you can't hit it straight into the circle.
Yes.
It's got to be touched outside.
Yeah, he's
or carried at least 5 metres.
He's going back to his glory days there.
Yeah.
Where will we find Coxie playing with the hot shots?
He'll play in the back
in the
four.
defence?
Yeah, he will. That's where he's played the last couple of years.
Yep.
He's done really well.
Good.
So in his former life he was a striker.
He was. I think in his current life he still thinks he is sometimes, so you might have to rein him in every now and then over in Perth, Kiwi.
Oh, yeah, we do that every now and then, just to say calm down.
Yep. No, I enjoyed watching Coxie last year when I'm pretty sure that the keeper was taken off at one point and Coxie put the bib on, and I don't think he got out of his attacking third with the goalkeeper bib on, so he wasn't going to be using his feet much.
He's very capable of sneaking.
So the umpire deemed that as being accidental, and to be honest, I don't think there was much in it.
It wasn't malicious.
But now Coxie's had a bit of a brain fade there because he actually tried to tomahawk that, and I think just came straight over the top of it with the back of his stick, didn't he?
Do you know what? I didn't see him actually
You didn't see
anything.
It. Well,
so
I'm pretty sure
my way again.
Coxie. I'm pretty sure, as I discussed or as I said, that's what happened. But
questionable 5. There's a lot of Thomas going on right now.
There's not a lot of control in this game at the moment.
Someone just probably needs to grab it and control the tempo, hold possession for starters, and then just shift it around.
And emotions are quite high at the moment. And again, as we've talked about, Adelaide just need to think about the style of hockey they want to play to get back in the contest. 15 minutes is plenty of time to get back in the contest playing their normal game. They don't need to be doing anything different. But right now, Seacliff would be happy with the way in which it's panning out, not only in scoreline, but I think also in the way in which they're just controlling it a bit better. That was a great slider from Connor Richmond's spouse, and that is another corner. So a beautiful pass from Richmond's spouse. Matt Morton got off the back, lovely reverse receive, and then won the 7th corner for Seacliff, I think.
Yeah, he really just ran the baseline with a bit of pace, which is more or less what we want against defence.
Yep, so no Buzzico this time, so they will. And Morton's gone to the inject, so he's not going to obviously be involved at the top. So would you expect Dan Mitchell to get involved with something here?
Yeah, I think so.
Mitchell does love scoring a goal, so he'd be pretty keen to be a factor here.
He looks very engaged, so I think it's definitely coming to him. Oh, great finish.
And that is Matt Morton's hat-trick, isn't it?
Yeah, so that was fairly handy. It came off the keepers of the kickers of Damon, and he just volleyed that straight in.
He did.
Any loose ball that pops up, though, you want a striker to get on the end of that.
Well, we talked about earlier that he is in good goal-scoring form when he popped that first one in after 5 or 10 minutes, and he's the last 2 corners he's put in. So the last one, the variation where it went back to him, and that one where, as you say, he just saw it, volleyed it, in it went.
Absolutely.
So that came off a Dan Mitchell hit that was it run down and then off the keeper, I think?
Yeah, they did take a deflection. So 4-1 now to Seacliff.
Yeah, so now it is definitely problem time for Adelaide. Stranger things have happened, but they have got some work to do.
Yeah, there's a bit of off-ball tension happening right down there at the moment, so...
Have you got your eye on anyone in particular? Or?
Yes. I just saw a little tussle between Jake Stacey and Connor Sparse there.
Very good.
See, the Adelaide press is really overcommitted on one side. If Connor had flung that out to Tynan, they would have been away, but well picked off by the Adelaide guys.
They just need to earn a corner from one of these entries.
That's right.
I don't think they did there. Adelaide looked disappointed. I'm not sure if it did hit the foot though, so it may have, but the only thing that matters is the umpires didn't think it did.
No, and they both checked with one another.
Yep.
Good by Fraser. Good intercept. Yep, that's the right idea.
There we go, finally.
Their first corner.
The first corner for the Peas. You've got
Coxie that can flick.
And he is striding up with intent.
Yeah.
Dorso can flick, but if this doesn't go to Coxie, I'd be really surprised.
Fraser's also quite handy with that one back to the dragger.
That's true. So
Jake's got a decent hit as well.
Yep, so he's in that third position, that kind of 0-1 potentially.
Yeah, they've got some handy options top.
So Coxie is on the second castle. Who's that trapping there? Huey?
Huey is with Coxie, and then James Humphreys on the first trapper.
With Dawes. So Adelaide really need to score this to get them back in the contest.
They were looking for a fishing option, I think, there from Dorso.
Yeah, they were. They obviously ran a few little kind of dummy runs and variations, and then Jake took it off the battery and an interesting variation, but unsuccessful.
Yep, Buzz just popping into the middle there.
Yeah, just needs to make sure he's got good ball security in that part of the field.
Absolutely, you don't want to turn it over there.
Got a Richmond spouse.
Yeah, I think you just caught one there.
In the low rib area. So Seacliff were able just to maintain the ball there for under some Adelaide pressing pressure. 10 minutes left. A 3-goal deficit for Adelaide, so things clearly need to happen quickly for them to get back in this contest.
Which is heaps of time.
Yep.
But I think they might need to just change it up a little. So the one goal they have scored is through a penetrating pass in with a finish from Gus.
Yeah.
And it has really taken them a while to get a corner, and there's the second one.
What was that for, Kiwi?
Either be Dan Mitchell's sliding tackle on the ground, I suspect.
Well, Paul Finney is giving Lachlan Buzzico a good explanation as we speak. So, but yeah, it was for
Dan Mitchell's
an infringement outside of the circle, which Finney deemed to be deliberate or worthy of a corner. So,
is he?
Sorry?
Sent off? He just ran straight off the field. Dan Mitchell's.
I don't know.
Yeah, they've only got 10 players.
Okay. All right. Will Coxie have an opportunity this time?
Take off.
Same corner
Stroke.
again.
So for a stroke to be awarded, it must have hit the defender's body.
So Mikey Wells has got the helmet straight off, and which is not unusual for Mikey.
No, he's quite emotional.
And so he's letting the umpire know that it should be a corner, but they've gone ahead and awarded the stroke. So it was deemed to come off the foot or leg or body of the Adelaide post
field player.
Seacliff
Seacliff
player, and I mean, it potentially looked to me as though it may have been wide of the post, but Huey cheekily has put it in while Mikey's not ready, but he's going to have to do that again. All right, a bit of mind games here. Well put away by Huey.
So Seacliff now have 10 players, and it's 4-2. So it's a good opportunity for Adelaide to, knock a couple in and then change the whole game.
Yeah, well, that has kind of come from nowhere. It was, a corner given from outside the circle. It looked like it was dealt with, and then penalty stroke awarded. So, Mikey almost went a little bit early, and Huey delayed the stroke for a little while and popped it into the open net on the other side.
Oh, pull that.
So Gus.
Momentum has changed.
It has, hasn't it? And Seacliff are down to men?
Yeah, I did another count. I've got 10 players on. Oh, now Mitchell's is on. So now
he's
11,
on,
yeah.
and everyone knows about it.
It was wide open.
He clearly wants this out here.
Yep.
And he would have got it, but not quite. So he's had a little rest now. He's up and about now, Dan Mitchell. Watch him to have a key influence on the game in the next few minutes.
It's a good contest.
There we go.
There. Yeah, you'd probably want to just start passing the ball around now. I don't think you'd want to carry it too much because of the way the game's shifting.
Yeah,
it
absolutely.
It is getting a little bit physical. So pass and pass.
And you even saw James Humphrey just trying for too much there. He didn't need to slide it through a packed defence.
Oh, here we go. That is a good tackle.
That's what he does. As you say, he tackles low, doesn't he? So
you've got to put a little lift on that to beat his tackle because it is very low.
Definitely.
It's a good receive, I guess. It's my most hated pass.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it either. So it was well read.
It is easier to read when you shift it like that and drop your shoulder.
So the seasoned voice of Mark Deloro directing his young chargers on the pitch.
Putting his body on the ground there, Coxie.
Umpire saw something that the Seacliff lads didn't see, especially Dan Mitchell.
That's called using the width of the pitch.
Exactly. Looking to control Fraser's speed here.
Yeah, Seacliff have a tendency just to sag off him. They don't really overcommit on Fraser because you know if you miss it, you're in trouble. It's another corner. Well worked there. It's well worked by Sean Dawson.
Very well worked.
He's got handy 3D skills.
Yeah, and he used them well. So Adelaide, they've had in both opportunities. They've tried the same corner. And as we've talked up all night, they've got good flicking options. So maybe they're worried about the lines that the Seacliff runners are running, or Mikey covering, the part of the goal they're trying to flick to. But we'll see what they come up with this one.
Yeah, Al's quite quick out too as a first runner. A bit slow there.
Oh, again, another 3 corners, 3 variations. So with 5 minutes remaining, 4-2, Adelaide throwing everything at Seacliff. Disappointingly, they were just looking for a little redirect on the top there, and it was just kind of inside Hildish's left foot rather than his, kind of on his right foot to be able to then just get a stick on that one. So Seacliff predictably just trying to slow the game down now.
So forced to turn over there, Adelaide.
So Jogger's commanding his troops to get behind the Adelaide outlet, but they found their free player out on the right.
Needs to accelerate though, otherwise he'll get chased down. It's a good nudge there from Daniel Richards.
It was, dropped his left hip in there. So again, great contest there between Al Oliver, the experienced
and
star from Seacliff,
and Gus.
Yep.
Looks a little bit sore though.
He does look a bit sore.
Yeah, I was the type to just keep running. Good tackle. Yeah, I think the umpires might need to tighten this up a little bit. Some of the players are basically trying to claim every ball as theirs.
Basically, but that was well handled by the Seacliff defender, Jamie Krekel, I think.
Yeah, that was. Tim Lee, Tomer. So, handy tackle.
They've dealt with Tim Lee well tonight. He hasn't been able to create a lot of opportunities. So the umpire's now just getting the Seacliff captain Glenn Tamlin over.
A warning to tell Mikey to be quiet on appealing some of the calls.
I think it might have been.
Well, there's Tim Lee.
And there he was. There it was. And even though it sort of popped up okay for Mikey, he still had to deal with it, which he did well with his left glove. So Adelaide certainly throwing everything at Seacliff now, and Seacliff basically just getting all players back in their defensive 25. Adelaide probably should look to shift it here.
Yeah, they're going through congestion right now. It's good work there by Buzz.
It was, but they've turned it over again. They just cannot control the ball at the moment, Seacliff. But there's the Seacliff veteran Glenn Tamlin winning an important ball, and he'll make sure things settle down before he takes this pass.
Good take. Oh. Yeah, I wasn't sure where that ball was going to end up if one of them connected with it. Yeah, probably just needed to change the angle a little bit. He was running straight at the line of the defence. He's a good runner, Fred Gray.
Oh, well, it's now or never for Adelaide with a minute and a half to go, or less than that.
That's a handy little touch.
So now Dan Mitchell just controlling the situation, slowing it down. And then a great bomb. So,
Al Oliver has just walked off the pitch and he got a green card.
yeah, I think he was disappointed with missing the overhead trap from Dan Mitchell. May have made that obvious, and then may have let his stick go into the dugout. So I'm not sure whether that's green card worthy or not, but it was deemed to be. But it won't matter. It won't change the result. It might change Al's mood, but I'm sure Al will forget about that pretty quickly when he knows that in 2 weeks' time he's going to be playing in another grand final.
Really need to crack it in. Alright. So, I think Seacliff 4-2 certainly created many opportunities in that game. I mean, they had so many attacking penalty corners. Matt Morden had 3 goals, so he'll be pretty happy with his efforts tonight. And 2 of them were very good clinical finishes, I think. Adelaide, however, probably didn't have as many attacking opportunities. They definitely had patches of, play that they could have created a bit more from. I think they'll be disappointed they didn't create more attacking penalty corner options, and then were able to break down that Seacliff defence, because Seacliff had some pretty solid tackling back there.
Definitely. So they'll be back again. Adelaide will be back again next Sunday to take on the winner of Forestville and Northeast tomorrow, and Seacliff will have a week off and go into the grand final in 2 weeks' time. So a great contest, and well done to Seacliff.
Yeah, back in the grand final.
Well done to you, Mel.
Thanks, Whitey.
Yep, that was gold.